Here we are, a final race of the season. 2025 goes so quick. Uh, Here we are, Abu Dhabi. Uh, yeah, final one. Cool. Wow, 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 wow. What a season. What a season. What a climax we've got. Three drivers fighting for the World Championship in Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Max Verstappen. My money's still on Norris to win. It just seems to be in the past few races, apart from Qatar last time out, that he seems to be a bit more complete now compared to Piastri. But I think we've got to take into consideration Verstappen because of that pedigree he's got. He's won 4 world championships previously, 3, 2021, debatable, but all honesty, 4. And I think, I have a feeling that we're going to see another 2021 incident. I just got this horrible feeling that it's going to happen. It's exciting for us for fans, but as we saw the fallout from that 2021 race between Verstappen and Hamilton, we saw the fallout from that with the disagreement amongst fans and the FIA and all the teams and everything else. So hopefully we don't have anything like that again. That's what I'm hoping for. But as I have, of course, nearly Christmas, we have got the F1 Christmas jumper on to kick off the month of December. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. May get some more appearances in future videos. But let's look through this lap, shall we? So this is one I have done, obviously pre-done. Apparently I've done a 127.7. Eesh, that's bad. That's terrible. Okay, so let's go with it then. So make sure I'm clicking on there. There we go. Okay, here we go. So let's start a lap of Yas Marina, shall we? So coming into the final corner, coming across the start finish straight, or line, sorry. Starting our lap, coming into the first corner now. So we're braking just after that 100-meter board. Okay, rapidly changing down through the gears. Coming into this corner in 4th gear. Okay, it can lose rear end ever so slightly in 4th gear. But as I've mentioned before in all my videos that I've done so far, I like to have a loose rear end so I have that nice control of the car, or try and grip control of the car anyway. So I do like that. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. I've mentioned it too many times now on the world of YouTube. So yeah, 4th gear in here. Able to put the foot down, taking that curb ever so nicely into that corner as well. So again, it just opens it up ever so slightly going into there. So hitting that apex, going across onto that other curb as well. Then heading into turns 2 and 3. Again, kissing that curb. So we're just hitting that apex on the inside there. In 6th gear at that stage, high revs there. Coming out of that corner, just bring the steering wheel ever so slightly to open it up again. Back into that central position, going to 7th. I do go a bit wide there. So I think I was just about that far off from track limits. So I was surprised I got away with that. Very surprised. But in 7th, coming down into here now, I brake around about 70 meters before the corner. Okay, because you're in 7th anyway, it's going to be high revs going into this corner. So you're going to be thinking in your brain, 8th gear, 8th gear, 8th gear. You don't need to, because you're going to be braking into this corner. You're going to have to turn in sharply anyway. So you're going to want to be in 7th gear. Yes, the engine's going to be screaming. It's going to be screaming at you. But trust me, going 7th into that zone for braking, about 70 meters, brake, slam hard on the brakes, down to 3rd gear. Okay, and then of course we're turning in straight away. So we're turning in sharply, putting that throttle down ever so slightly, going up into 4th and starting to go through those gears again, like we have done throughout the series so far. So we're about to do here. So going in, a little bit tail happy going out that corner, but it's, as I said, it's going through 3rd, putting that throttle down ever so slightly, into 4th, then put your foot down. So then you get that power down these monstrous V6 engines straight away. Okay, so we're going down this main straight now. Beautiful Ferrari SF25. Same with such a crap car this year. Here we go, going into the corner. So coming in, beautiful helmet to use. Lewis Hamilton's 2020 helmet, I must add. So coming into this corner now, let's see what happens. Especially I've actually been on board with one of these as well, actually. So it's actually quite good. So you probably saw there, if I go back a little bit, this is why I do it like this. There we go. So going into it, so we've gone just past the 150-meter board there. Okay, so still pummeling down, foot down, 8th gear. Revs are getting really high there. Just before the 100-meter board. Just before it. Okay, literally talking about 101, 102 meters before that corner. Okay, and literally brakes on again, like I was in that other turn previously, last corner, I should say. Heavy braking, down the gears. We want to try and get into around about third or second gear for this corner. Okay, that's what we want to do. Okay. That was bad turning. As you saw, this is going to be a long one. Okay, going back. Okay, so I've gone in, I've braked. Okay, and going in, and the car's sliding. Okay, that car is sliding. There's nothing you can do about that. Okay. Of course, I've left, as I said, just for the 100-meter board, I braked. Okay, so straight away, as we just go through it again, I'm turning in. I'm actually having to try and force the car into that corner. Okay, and that is in second gear. So the car's actually practically stopped at this point because I've had to brake so much to try and get into that corner. So next time, I wouldn't do it just before 100-meter board. That's a bit of a mistake on my part. There you go. We're back to making big mistakes this week. Yes, that's what these videos are for. But what I would do is not just before 100-meter board, but still close to it, but probably around about 110, 115 meters, if not in between those. Because all we want to do is to be able to get down those gears nice and quickly. So we get into this complex here in about second gear. So we actually hit the apex like I didn't do. So then we could go into it nicely, then out into third gear, going out of this next corner here. I don't do that. Okay, don't do what I do. Do what I've just said. So I've put the throttle down a little bit just to try and get the car going again, and I've quickly changed into third. But as you've seen here, I've now taken too much curb. Okay, too much curb, especially around this track, puts the car off balance. Okay, so as you can see, fighting that rear end as I'm putting the throttle down as well, because I'm trying to set the quickest time as I possibly can. Okay. God, dear, oh dear. I must have been half asleep when doing this bloody lap. Oof. Okay, so power back down now, in fourth, going fourth, fifth, sixth. Pummeling down the straight now, going off board now. Oh, that's a shame. But even going down there, you can just see it there. That's interesting to see. The car is sliding around a little bit, which is really interesting. And it's nothing to do with setup. It's nothing to do with the track conditions itself. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't want to be critical here of F125 or the F1 series, but it can be a little bit twitchy. Even when a car's on a straight like this, you're going around the corner, putting your foot down, going on a straight. It can be a little bit twitchy. Okay, so I'm not saying F125, sorry, I said that twice. Long day. But I'm not saying F125 is crap. It isn't. It's a very good game. A very good build upon from F124. But there's still minor bits and pieces that could be improved on. And hopefully we'll see those improvements with the add-on of F126 onto this. Because, of course, we're not going to get a full, complete game or base game for F126. We're going to get a brand new base game for F127, which is really exciting, really good news. But here we go, coming into this lovely little corner here, and I'm so glad. Karun Chandok, thank you so much for being a part of this redesign of the track, because I love this part. Being able to go in, flying in that corner, I'm going into that fifth gear, okay, being able to put that throttle down, build up that power, build up that speed. If you remember back to Abu Dhabi before this in 2019, we had that little mini complex, then going round the corner, mini straight, then into the corner again. That was rubbish. It was absolute rubbish. And the amount of cars that kept going off because of it, it's bad. This is so much more better. Really is so much more better. So thank you, Karun Chandok and everyone else that went in and redesigned this track. Because sorry, microphone. It's quicker, it's faster, it is amazing, it's brilliant. As you saw there, actually, going into it in fifth gear, putting that throttle down. I'm covered by palm trees apparently. But the rear started sliding out. The car started sliding out again. Okay. Fifth gear is the gear to do for that corner because you want that car to grip. Okay. It's just unfortunate. I think a little bit of setup may be a bit of an issue here. But again, I rely on that setup. The setup is good. Okay. I think it may just be the driver in this instance, which is me. Bad driver in this instance. As I said, I must have been half asleep when I was doing this one. Really bad. But no matter, coming out into the corner, nicely kissing that curb there, going through into this nice little complex here. I'm glad that this part wasn't changed, because it's a nice flowing section of corners. But then we're going right down now into third gear at this point, nicely kissing the apex there. So we're starting to redeem ourselves a little bit here. Okay, so starting to go through here, still third gear, off throttle a little bit, because as you saw, the rear end started to move a little bit there. So yes, you still want to be in third. That is a gear to take for that corner. But a little bit easy on the throttle with that one, because with that, if we apply less throttle, we wouldn't have the loose rear end as we saw there. But getting into here now, I change up into fourth, because we can apply a little bit more power into fourth, then throw it into that corner. You've got the grip, mechanical grip for the car. Use it, especially in this. We come to the famous part now of where Latifi crashed in 2021, which ultimately handed Max Verstappen the title. Michael Massey, you know what you did there. But even just there, just seeing that, how close I was to track limits. So close to track limits. Really pushing in this one. I think this is the one I've pushed the most in, to be honest with you, when it comes to any track. Really interesting. So coming in now into the final couple of corners, we want to go through there flat out. So we want to be in sixth gear at this point. And then coming to about seventh, round about here, around about this lovely little line here. I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see me doing that. But by doing that, we also want to try and brake around about what I'm just doing now. So coming through, I'm doing it with the mouse now. Coming through this corner, I want to be in sixth, seventh gear. I come through here in sixth. You can come through in seventh. It does knock the speed off a little bit, but if you want to keep control of the car and keep control of what you're doing for grip as well, seventh's fine. Okay, but you know me by now. I like a loose rear end. I like to take a risk. Sixth is fine. It's amazing. It's brilliant. So coming into this corner now, going through the gears down to third, quickly down to fourth, losing the rear end again. Wow. And then finally across the line where we've done a 126.9. Okay, and 932 as I move the keyboard back up onto the desk. Okay, so that was our lap of Abu Dhabi analysed. Back on form with making mistakes. A huge mistake there going into the little mini corner complex there after that long straight. Okay, but again, I've got my little times up on the my phone, of course. Remember, all my times are up on, I've got on my phone of what I've done. So reference point for us actually looking at the time here. So 126.9 is what I've done. And this was using the controller on the Xbox. I do go on the PC version. Trust me, I do. Just again, timing's trying to do it. But just going through them. So F122, 125.3. So we're already off the pace with this one. But F122, as we all know, sorry, Codemasters, was crap. F123, a 123.8. Again, they actually rectified it with that game, and I love F123. It's absolutely amazing, phenomenal. F124 last year's game, a 125.3. So if we take that one, a 125.3 to a 126.9, let's see here, so 1.6 seconds slower. Okay, so again, as I've mentioned in all these videos now, F125 cars tend to be about 2 seconds slower than the predecessor in F124. So with that being 1.6 seconds off the pace, that's about right. Okay. If I'd done this again, of course, I would do what I've told you what I'll do in here. For an analysis point of view, I'd actually do it. And I think by doing that, I reckon I can get probably, let's say, I reckon I could probably knock about 6-7 tenths off from that. So it'd still be the 126s, but it'd be a lot closer to the time that I set in F124. Okay, and that's kind of what I'm aiming for, really. You know, I'm going to say the classic line now, as it has been in every single video so far. You know, I'm just someone that loves playing F1 games. I'm not a professional esports driver. I'm not a content creator, although I'm starting to go down that route now. But I'm just showing my love for F1 games, you know. And as I said, I probably can knock about 6 tenths off from that, to be honest with you. I probably can. I might even do that, actually, as a bit of a Christmas treat. Just do it again and see if I can do it. And then I'll post the results up on both Insta and on YouTube through the posts on there as well. But that's it. That is F125 for a season done. Of course, we've got the race on Sunday, so that's going to be really enjoyable. Really excited about doing that as well. But just to let you know a couple of things that are coming up. Of course, I try and plan my time carefully around what I do for my job, doing this, and of course looking after myself as well as a part of that. Although this does give me that break, it gives me that nice relaxing vibe that I kind of need from a stressful job that I have. So I do love doing this. I love it. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have a midweek, just trying to drive F1 video for you, which will pretty much be our Christmas special, or my Christmas special, I think, where we'll go on a classic track in one of the previous F1 games. So probably F1 20 or F1 2020. Sorry, they should have classic cars on there and tracks as well. So we'll do that. Yeah, so I think we'll have a couple of Christmas specials. Why not? Because I think for those ones, we'll do some classic tracks. Might as well. We've got the ability to do that with classic cars as well. Why not do it? So we'll go with a couple of classics. So we'll have one in the middle of the week next week for that one. We'll also then next Friday we'll have our next one out of that Christmas cycle for the time being of Monza. Monza is my ultimate favourite track in Formula One. 10th for speed. I love speed. It is my favourite track in the F1 calendar. It is my ultimate dream, bucket dream actually, to go to Monza. But unfortunately, with my job and that, it gets in the way, unfortunately. Not trying to sound harsh because I love my job, but it always gets in my way. So that's one race I'd love to do in the future, just to tick it off the bucket list. I'd love to go to Monza. You know, to be surrounded by a passionate Ferrari fans who love their motorsport, adore Ferrari. You know, just to be in that atmosphere whilst watching great racing, speed with cars doing 230 miles an hour. It'll be insane. It would be absolutely insane. That is my ultimate dream, or one of my ultimate dreams, is to do that. So maybe one day, who knows, might do it. We don't know what the future holds, but that's something I'd love to do. I'd love to go out there. So just to go through that again, because I went a bit off topic there. So we're going to do a Christmas special in the middle of the week next week, which should appear on Wednesday. We'll then have Monza next Friday, using not the Ferrari this time. We'll go with probably the Red Bull. Okay, depending on the outcome of the championship on Sunday, we'll probably stick with the Red Bull and do that with that one. I've always done my lap times around Monza, funny enough, with the Ferrari. So it'd be interesting to do it differently with Red Bull. But of course, all the times that I do in videos that I show you are using equal performance on F125. So it's no difference, no lag whatsoever. And then we'll have another Christmas special the following week in the middle of the week as well. And then in that second Christmas special, I will then reveal to you what track we're going to do in that Friday, which will be on that Friday on the 19th. And then we will take a little break over Christmas because, of course, we all want to spend time with our loved ones. I say that now. I'll probably get bored and do another video. But I have to say, you know, thank you so much for watching these videos and generating those views. You know, as I said, I do this for myself, my own benefit, you know, and as I said, just combining my two favorite passions of being analytical in that teacher role, which I do have, but also playing a game that I absolutely have loved since I started playing it back in 2009 on the PSP back in those days. Oh, times have changed so much. But as I just want to say once again, thank you so much for watching these, and I will see you next time, or in fact next week, with our Christmas special. So see you then.